My name is Kojo Yankson. Let me tell you how to turn back time. You can now bring back all the fun, all the excitement, all the controversy of the Super Morning Show and all your favorite Joy shows when you go to myjoyonline.com/podcasts. Just select your favorite show and bring it all back again. Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners.
Radio, Joy 99.7.
As usual, we're live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. You can connect with us from there. On to our first story. And hours of heavy downpours in parts of the country have caused flooding on some major roads and even homes. Here in Accra, the stretch between Tesano and the Ghana Telecom University College was largely taken over by flood waters. Commuters, mostly drivers and passengers, were not enthused at all as they approached city authorities to pay attention to the specific spot. My colleague Judith Awatritando spoke to some of them.
So this is not the usual scene here on the Tesano Abeka Road, but it is whenever it rains. So for now, cars have been stuck here for hours due to the flooding on the roads. And so they have been agitating for a while. We'll be speaking to some of them who are still stuck here. You can see that this road is a 3-lane road, but today cars have been forced to use just one lane because water has gathered right here on the streets. We also have some policemen around who are trying to direct the motorists. So we'll be speaking to some of them. Hello, sir. Please, you have been stuck in traffic for a lot of hours now. How does it make you feel?
Yeah, because of the road. That's why the river is so...
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll be speaking to more drivers. They are trying to meander through the water to get some space to be able to go into a free space. Hello, sir. Can you tell us, how long have you been in traffic?
I've been in traffic for about an hour now.
Wow. And how does that make you feel?
I feel so bad about it. I feel so terrible about it. See, I have a program at 7:30. Now it's almost 8:15. Wow. It means I'm late already. See, this is very bad. They have to do something about it. Indeed, they have to fix the country. It's very important.
Thank you very much. So you heard him right. He's asking for government to fix the country because this is something that has been happening every time it rains. Hello, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
How long have you been in traffic?
More than 2 hours.
Wow. And how does that make you feel as a driver?
It's very unfortunate. Our engineers in this country have disappointed us. Me, myself, I'm an engineer by profession, but this thing we shouldn't be going through this. It's not good at all.
We are literally walking through water right now, and it's a very uncomfortable situation for a lot of drivers here. They are asking government to do something about this situation because it happens every time it rains. It's been a long time since this started, but nothing seems to be done about it. I have someone else here. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
How long have you been stuck in traffic?
2 hours.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah, well, just because of the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of flooding here. And then because of that, we can't go, we have a lot of work to do, and then because of that, because of speed and then the traffic and then...
Okay, so he's been told to move. The water is filling up the road more and more. And yes, he feels very uncomfortable and very disappointed as a result. So you can see the police ahead directing them. We have some more cars around. Some of them seem angry because they are being delayed. Yeah. So he says that our politicians are driving in 4x4 cars and he is using a taxi. And they are still not fixing our roads. And so that makes him very much agitated and very angry. He wants something to be done about the situation. So we'll speak to some more drivers ahead We are going deeper and deeper into the traffic. So there's a taxi driver here. Hello, sir. Pacho, how many? Okay. Okay, so how many hours? How many hours have you been in traffic? Okay, they have to move. So he's complaining as well that it's been too long since this started on this road and nothing has still been done about it. So he's calling on government to fix the road. We'll be speaking to some more drivers, and it's clear that they are agitated. It's clear that they are not happy about this situation at all. Hello, sir. How long have you been in traffic, sir?
Oh, just some few minutes ago.
And how does that make you feel? I mean, it's been long since this road has been this way.
It speaks volume to us as leaders and as a nation to think outside the box and to find another means by which we can mitigate this. Yeah.
Okay.
But all boils down to money. We must pay the right taxes. We must not evade taxes. Managers of our funds must manage it prudently so that we can get some disposable income to be able to do some of these things.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so it is clear that drivers are agitated here and want something to be done about this situation. It's been too long since this road has been this way, and they definitely want the roads to be fixed. Some are calling on government, some are calling on the youth. But whoever is being called, the bottom line is that the roads must be fixed. Reported.
And that was my colleague Judith Awatritando. Now in Kumasi, my colleague Ohiming Teria visited the South Junction area and reports floods have eroded a better part of the road, making it difficult for users.
Currently, where we are is at the Kumasi South Junction. This is also one of the areas that was affected heavily by the downpour this morning. This section of the road was blocked to traffic. What it means is that the motorists who were traveling from Santase and to Bekwai roundabout and were forced to park their vehicles until the rain subsided. So what we are seeing now is just an evidence of what the effect of the rain has been. You see this heavy pothole here is being created by the heavy currents of the rain. Once this area gets flooded, then it has forcibly removed the top of the road constructed some years ago. Now we are told that a few weeks ago, the officials brought these stones that you see here just to fill this area after the rain waters has eaten away the top of the water here. So the indication is that it has gotten to the attention of the officials, but as to what and when exactly they'll be fixing this particular problem, it cannot be, cannot be told. We are learning that there's a heavy storm drain here, and anytime it rains, then the storm drain here overflows 8 banks, and it forces the rain waters to fill this particular stretch of the road. There be alpha coin so ensure to a sign a hasity.
A honey de be a hyana menam, and so try intimate for her. Chese, so one pay baby and fire, and so never eat our cano. Any pair of fire could be what? Just say it be one more deno, almost four more, now or more the more extra quanim. Say honey and so try and yasam get to a cry.
I didn't see that ensure a fire, bet me a faka, a mudrono, and I know the end say.
Yana no den papa passing soon a talk now be jina. As rock can out to a year. Just say, as what cheer the bano. So we any pacrano and pay baby and you know, a bit me a foul. And if it are for no more finding you know, and so try. Only your problems, I won't call for car watches it, and yasam get to a cry and 100 years. And soon if I had a dozen to a sum of pen seminar or more boy.
Okay, this is a driver who plies his trade here. He tells me anytime it rains, the problem created by the rains is that motorists cannot use this particular stretch. You have to park your vehicle at the other ends and then wait until the rain subside before you'll be able to use this road. And then beyond this, motorists are also forced to wait for a longer period before they can use this stretch. And human beings who want to cross the road from this particular point to another end will have to be carried on shoulder high before they are able to do the same. And what you are seeing here is just some fitting shops around here. All these fitting shops are also submerged anytime it rains. Papa, me say, "Otiha, ensuing a toa hat to say."
Oh, I had a cry. That's the I know. A tutu cry. She had the also more money back home.
It's your time with me, afar.
Yet to me, had too much. It's a university bridge and also I don't know somewhere no more yet. On my bridge in the year because we're mine in getting to two holes, and your papa.
Okay. So this man lives around here. He tells me the only solution to this problem is for authorities to expand the storm drain here so that it can accommodate more water.
And that was early on with my colleague Ohiming Teria. He joins us live with more updates. Ohiming, where exactly are you currently and what's the situation like?
Currently, I am down the South Junction road between Santase and Bekwai roundabout. Behind me is what you see is vehicular traffic building up here as a result of this morning a flood that inundated this particular road. So what it means is that more vehicles are now accessing the road, and as a result they are unable to use this stretch as it used to be. Now, because the volume of traffic has increased and motorists haven't had to do with the pothole created by the flood waters on this particular stretch, now there is this heavy vehicular traffic on the stretch building up gradually right from the Bekwai roundabout to this section of the road.
Well, Ohiming Teria, and so far in your interactions with some of those who use the stretch like you did initially, what have been their calls?
For residents, especially motorists who ply this particular stretch, it's been an annual ritual. Anytime it rains, this whole area floods up. They mentioned the fact that the storm drain is very limited. The spaces are very limited. And now people have also been throwing rubbish into the drain. And so there's some sort of the rubbish choking the drain in that regard. And so that has been the main cause of the floods here. And because it is too small, they are appealing to authorities. I spoke to the assemblyman for South Intreso, Kwame Asafo-Adjei, who echoed concerns of motorists, concerns of mechanics who work around here, and concerns of residents who live at South Intreso.
It's a heavy downpour. This situation causes a whole lot of problem for the people of South Intreso, and even those using vehicular transport or using their own vehicles to pass through this channel. You know, there is a link road connecting South Intreso and North Intreso. Because of the architectural design, they have closed that U-turn, causing a very big problem. Most of the times when this U-turn was there, all the drivers, when there is a heavy downpour, they pass through Palmer Road, go straight to that point, do the U-turn and go to where they are going. But because they closed that channel, it has been a problem for the residents and those using the cars, and it's very worrisome.
In terms of the floods, I know this area gets flooded anytime it rains. How common it is and what has been the impact? How does it affect movement of people, movement of vehicles, and then the offices around here?
Oh, really? If there is a heavy downpour early in the morning, to be specific, movement is slowed. No one can pass through this channel to where he or she is going. Seriously, you will see a heavy traffic here. both sides. You know, vehicles cannot even pass because the last time it rained heavily, when you get into it, maybe like it will be on your shoulder or wherever. And it's you know, there was a time one lady, a certain lady, I think that the water wanted to take her away. Yeah, and we helped through those who are doing this washing bay here. They helped, they swam and brought the old lady out, and it's very bad. And we are pleading to the government to come to our aid and sort things out here.
And so that is the plight of some people in the Kumasi area. Ohimintewia, thank you very much for connecting with us, bringing us the updates now. Let's move on to our very next story, as we are joined by Martina Bugri, but that will be later on. Now, residents, business owners, traders, and truck drivers at ELUBO are protesting the continuous closure of their borders. The demonstrators say their businesses and marriages collapsed, resulting in untold hardship on their lives. They are demanding an immediate opening of the ELUBO border to enable them get their lives back.
We are doing this demonstration because the land borders in Ghana have been closed for way too long. It's been almost 2 years. Our people at the border towns are suffering. As you can tell, people are crying. People that went for bank loans cannot repay. Lives have been lost. Marriages have been broken. People are committing suicide. The whole town is getting into like the ghost place because people are moving out of this place. So people are suffering. They can't pay school fees. Marriages are just turning apart. A lot of things are happening. A lot of hardships. So we are doing this demonstration to tell the government that we should really pay attention and do something about the reopening of the borders because it's been closed for way too long. The airports have been reopened, but the land borders have not been opened. And it's really affecting the livelihood of our people. We've done everything. As a member of parliament, I did a statement. I called on the interior minister to ask him about the closure of the border. Nothing has been done. So we are hoping that by doing this demonstration, it will help us. The government will really hear us to do something. And that is why we are doing this demonstration. It's a peaceful one. We are only pleading to the government, our father, to do something because people are really suffering at the border towns. You can tell a lot of people are crying. Things are happening. Lives are being lost, and something needs to be done. After all, the disease, we were told that the reason why the land borders were closed was as a result of this COVID-19. But lives that have been taken away, or people that are dying, it's more than even the COVID-19. Out of frustration, hunger, and all that. So we are pleading. The disease it didn't come from Ghana. It came from abroad. But the airports have been reopened. Yet the land borders haven't been reopened. So we are pleading. Anything that he can do, I'm sure if he opens the land borders, there are proper measures put in place. So that at least the people can have back their lives. Because it's been closed for way too long. So we are asking him to do something about it.
Okay, what are your concerns?
I'm Manola, I'm a taxi driver at ELUBO, San Fran. When they closed the border, since they closed the border, since the 23rd of March 2020, and they closed the border, all our cars have been sold because you don't have money to survive on. And since that time up to now, I'm telling you, people cross every day and night, people cross. The immigration are collecting money, throw me. Anytime they are, right now, even the interior minister, you should discuss his step and come to ELUBO. I'll cross him. The immigration officer will collect money and I'll cross him. But if you don't pay, they will just say, the border have closed, but you have not closed. That's the definition of the border closer. The border have closed, but I have not closed. Why? Because people used to go and come every day. The immigration are collecting money, the police are collecting money. With evidence, not that I'm saying it with facts. Because I'm a taxi driver, because that's where I survive. Because the border have closed, if the people come, I'll collect their money. Before I close them, I collect them 15,000, 20,000. Anytime, the immigration will collect 20. The Kanuma will collect me from. When you reach at the other side of the border, the FSC will collect Gamey. On that place, the police will collect 20. When you reach at Norway, and the rest will be mine. Because of that, that's where I will survive on. If I will not do that, I cannot survive. How will I survive? So, since that time now, up to now, we have nothing else to do. So they should open the border for us. If the border will not open, if
concerns. As we sell at ELUBO, we are the traders in ELUBO. Our goods are spoiling and everything is getting apart. We have collected loans from banks and we can't pay. Our husbands have run away. They have left us with everything. We don't have anything to do. Our children are in the house. They are not going to school. I have 4 kids, 2 at the university, 2 at the secondary level, but I can't look after them because the border is closed. And some people are eating. They are chopping money. We are still there in the house. We eat, we sleep. So we are begging the government to please open the border for us.
Your name? Well, on the back of that, I am joined by Joy News' Nathalia, who has been following up on this demonstration and who joins us with more. Now, Nathalia, who are the organizers of the demonstration and where exactly have they been holding this protest? Nathalia, you may have to unmute so that we can hear what you are saying, but Nathalia is going to be bringing us some more details about that demonstration and how it started. Nathalia, if you can hear me.
Yes, Ben.
Great.
So I was saying that the lead organizer for this demonstration is the MP for the area, Dorcas Afutofe. She has been leading this demonstration. Prior to today, she also had a press conference with some media houses talking about how her constituents have been calling on her on the frustrations they are going through. To let our viewers understand more, ELUBO is more like it's a border town, and so most of activities are between the ELUBO township and the people at the other side, that is their neighboring country. And so this has been happening through the principal streets of ELUBO. Just like you've heard there, they have been complaining that people have even have to leave the town because of the economic hardship that has been brought to them because of the closure of the border. So basically, sometimes when you go there, unlike 2019 when Joy News we did the porous border, when I went to ELUBO where it was such a booming town, you see that economic activities were very vibrant. Other than today that they are demonstrating and you see these numbers, when you go there on any ordinary day, you see that the town is very quiet.
Now, whom did they present their petition to, and how soon do they want to see some action as far as this problem is concerned, the closure of borders?
So they presented it to the MCU of the area, and they have given him 2 weeks ultimatum that they should hear from government. The border should be opened. They are also expecting the Interior Minister to come down to ELUBO and then come and witness how what they are alleging as extortion of money from some immigration officers to allow people in and out. They also made a case that since these immigration officers are extorting monies from people coming in and out through unapproved routes, this means that if this COVID pandemic that we sort of prevent by closing the border, if this is the case, and COVID is already in town, so there is no need. And government, if he opens the border for them, he will be getting more money from that. So they've given government 2 weeks, and then they are expected to head back on the streets after 2 weeks if they don't hear anything feasible from government.
Nathalia, thank you for connecting with us. Nathalia Kwanza is our Western Regional Correspondent. On now to our next story, and despite the rising number of positive cases of COVID-19 in the Oti region, there are no funds for surveillance and contact tracing. This development, according to the Regional Health Director, Dr. Osei Kufuor-Afre, is making the fight against the pandemic difficult. Dr. Afre was speaking at the 2021 Half-Year Health Delivery Performance Review. Peter Senu has more in this report.
The Oti Regional Health Directorate has held its half-year performance review to assess its performance over the past 6 months at Nsuta in the Jasikan district on the theme engaging stakeholders to ensure continuity of service in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. Various district heads presented their performances and challenges for resolution. The non-availability of adequate doctors to handle the rising number of patients still led the chart as in previous reviews, the topmost challenge against quality health delivery in the region. Accommodation challenges for even those health workers who have accepted posting to the region is also high on the radar. Other logistical challenges such as regional storage facility, regional cold room for medications, and vehicles for monitoring and supervision are also still paramount. The region has recorded increased numbers of COVID-19 positive cases in recent times, with some in education institutions. Dr. Osai Kufuor-Afre is the Regional Health Director. He provides some updates.
The OT region is currently in a state with, just as the national picture depicts, with COVID. So far, cumulatively as a region, we have recorded 771 confirmed cases of COVID-19, of which about 25% of the cases are health workers, which is a source of worry, because the health workers are supposed to lead the fight against COVID. So if they themselves are getting infected, then it's quite worrisome. The region has recorded 8 deaths so far since the pandemic started in our region in March 2020. Initially, we've been able to vaccinate about 4,500 people with the AstraZeneca first dose of the vaccines. And we are happy to have received some quantities also for the second dose. And we've also received some 500 doses of Johnson & Johnson to be used for immunization of people who are not immunized.
From COVID-19, let's talk about post-harvest losses, which account for 30 to 40% of food wastage in Ghana, according to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. The weak connection between farmers and buyers have largely been blamed. Fortunately, a mobile and web application seeks to solve that problem. The Kwafo marketplace has been developed by the Institute for Scientific and Technological Information of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. On Tech Thursday, Lava FM's Kwesi Deborah speaks with the scientists behind this innovation.
Kwafo Marketplace is an online platform for farmers, agro-input shops and marketers to sell their goods and services. There are 2 versions, an online version and a mobile app which is available on Google Play Store. The app, developed through the Modernizing Agriculture in Ghana program, is meant to prevent fraud and establish trackability. Engineer Michael Wilson is the head of the electronics division of the institute.
When you have yield, especially like the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative, how do you get that food to the table of the Ghanaian? Some of the food get rotten because we don't even know they have been produced in there. So the Kwafo Marketplace is a dedicated e-commerce platform for registered farmers. We are dealing with about 4,000 farmer-based organizations across Ghana. So these farmers are registered to sell on the platform. Registered because we don't want that platform to be like a platform where people can do fraudulent stuff and say, oh, I'm selling this, you pay and you never get your stuff. So all the farmers there are registered with FBOs, so we can trace the food you are buying. These farmers, after they have harvested, can advertise their produce on the Kwafo Marketplace, and any average Ghanaian, any consumer, any food processor, any marketer could reach them easily and get that food from the farm to the consumers. So the marketplace is the end point where the food moves from the farm to the Ghanaian table. And I believe we are heading towards that point where you can tell for sure that the food I'm eating is coming from farmer A in region B and was produced under conditions A, B, C, and thus I can guarantee the nutritional content of the food I'm eating. That is the Kwafo Marketplace.
A user should be a member of the registered farmer-based organization or be verified by the platform managers to be able to advertise on the platform. The application also has a feature which enables prospective buyers to directly contact the seller of any commodity before any transaction can be agreed upon. Mr. Benjamin Folicher is CSIR Insti Mark focal person.
And the person wants to sell his or her produce. When you go to the Kwafo Marketplace, over there you can advertise your produce, and then people will contact you, because over there we have made it in such a way that you can upload your goods there, your telephone number and where you are, so that buyers can reach up to you and then you can bargain and then you sell.
The index page or the home page you click on the Kwafo Marketplace and you are launched to the portal. There is a button for you to register. You put in your name, your phone number, and then you select the FBO, the farmer-based organization you belong to. Our operational team will do their verifications and be sure that you are who you claim you are. And once they verify you, they approve you. Once you are approved, you can start selling on the portal. It's as simple as that.
Reporter for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
Now, former President John Mahama last week began a tour of the country to thank voters for their support in the 2020 elections. He lost that election, but gained significant votes from his 2016 defeat. But more importantly, he waited 8 months after the 2020 election to embark on this thank you tour. In the wake of the latest CDD post-election survey results, our social media live show, State of Play, will this afternoon dissect Mahama's impending third attempt with a fascinating verdict you can't miss. Here is what we expect from the lads.
So State of Play is coming up again. I'm excited about this conversation because after what? 8 months.
Yeah, 8 months. We're in the 9th month now.
John Mahama now decides to do a thank you tour.
Yeah.
And things that he said on the tour had become fodder for press conferences and counter. There have been, what, my last count, two so far. There's NPP the first.
There's been one from the NPP. The NDC has responded. You had the NPP's John Boyd also coming up issuing statements here.
In fact, this week, Bamian Samoa told me on top story that they're going to do a third one. And I asked Felix, who also said, well, if they do it, then we have to respond. So one thank you tour triggers this chain of, we need to discuss it. It's important because for us, we're looking at it, we're thinking it's signaling the possible third coming of John Mahama.
Well, I mean, yeah, third coming, maybe fourth coming, some say, but third coming, third attempt, because
third attempt.
I mean, after winning, I mean, that's the third attempt he's trying to make. Now, look, let's not hide it. It's obvious John Mahama believes, well, that's my understanding, I get, reading the issues. He believes he has an unfinished business. He wants to serve his term. In the Fourth Republic, apart from John Mills, who died, every person has done 2 terms. He wants to serve his 2 terms, and he wants to prove a point. This is just a way of galvanizing the base.
On the show at 2:30, we'll be pronouncing our verdict on this, what we're reading into his thank you tour, but there is some interesting data that has also come to play that may factor into what we believe will be his chances as we see it, if indeed comes back as the NDC's flag bearer. Is he the only guy who is possibly the only?
Well, I mean, if you're
don't say that. Don't say that. Join us at 2:30. State of Play.
Don't forget to join that one, State of Play, at 2:30 exactly. Up next, though, is business.
Hi there, welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. The impasse between traders and management at the KEJETIA market over payment of utility bills has resulted in an accumulated debt of 3.6 million cedis. Management of the facility say traders have defaulted in paying bills for 4 months in protest against exorbitant charges. Managing Director Kofi Dufour says there are arrangements to address the concerns. Prince Apia has more in this report.
Traders at KEJETIA market pay 40,000 cedis for electricity monthly, with each shop paying averagely 100 to 200 cedis. To deal with the challenge, they want management of the Kumasi City market to get them separate meters. In the past 4 months, the traders have suspended payment of electricity bills and other service charges in protest against delays in installing the meters.
The stall I occupy is small, yet I am billed huge sums at the end of the month.
Too much. The angry traders have placed red flags in front of their shops in protest against the delayed process.
This red flag has come to stay. Until we get a favorable response from authorities, it is not coming down. I use several appliances at home, but pay less compared to this stall with only a fan and a light bulb. This is too severe.
105 a month. Operations manager of the KEJETIA Traders Association, Ahmed Kwating, says they will continue to protest until their problems are solved.
Until our issues are addressed with a suitable timeline to resolving them, we are not dropping the flag. This is not an attack on the authorities, but just an expression of our grievances.
Managing Director of KCM, Kofi Dufour, says a contract will be signed with Klo Ghana Limited this week to address the metering issues.
Our lawyers are working on the contract. We expect that a day or two it should be done. Bearing any variations or changes, if the Klo people are okay with what we've put together and they go through it, push comes to shove, by Friday we should sign. If we have to even sign on Saturday, we'll sign. We don't want to take this matter to next week. It would end.
Mr. Dufour urged the traders to end their protest and help clear the debt to keep the facility running.
We are apologizing as a management and as a board, but we want to assure them that we will do the needful within this week, before the week passes. This matter, this chapter will be crossed. So the red flags, if they can just bring them down on behalf of management and the board, I'll be most grateful.
Prince Apia reporting.
In other news, the Finance Ministry says it has been very focused on ensuring an independent operation of the newly created National Development Bank without any political interference. This is reason the establishment of a National Development Bank is not going through parliamentary scrutiny and approval, but rather through the Registrar General's Department. According to Director for Financial Services Division of the Finance Ministry, Samson Akligo, the ministry has developed strong regulatory environment to ensure that the bank survives without government's intervention. He was speaking at a development dialogue organized by the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research.
By the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research was focused on the establishment of national development banks in the country and the best practices to learn from. Under the theme, National Development Banks and Sustainable Financing in Ghana, the program also gave a platform to stakeholders to deliberate on the importance of the yet-to-be-established development bank. Director of the Financial Sector Division at the Ministry of Finance, Samson Akligo, explains that the move to avoid direct parliamentary involvement is to ensure full independence of the bank. He also assured the ministry is taking guidelines from the international best practices.
For the first time, we did not go to Parliament to really pass an act to set up the development bank. The whole idea is that we don't want direct political appointments, and we don't want a situation where we also have civil servants and public servants on the board. So what we sought to do is that we established it under the Registrar General as a company, and then because we want it to be regulated, we passed a new act to develop that ecosystem and have it regulated. And I can confirm that so far what we have done is that we went through an independent process devoid of central government to appoint the board, and then the board is even more open to non-Ghanaians. And then at the same time, the CEO and the management selection process have been very competitive. And I think that is very important as one of the key lessons.
Director of ISE, Professor Peter Quarty, challenged the ministry to put in all the necessary measures to avoid collapse of the bank after a few years of its establishment.
To also strengthen the regulation environment to avoid financial sector cleanups. You saw in 2002, Bank for Housing and Construction and the Cooperative Bank went down. 2017, we've seen banks go down. Are we going to see a repeat in 2024, 2034? It looks like, I don't know, I want to break that cycle that every 17 or 18 years there will be a bank collapse. I think we ought to break away from some of these challenges so that we create enough confidence in the system. Because when banks go down, it affects livelihood, it affects people's health, employment, and so on and so forth. We want to avoid that. I want to end here.
Other speakers on the panel charged government to use the bank to support specific sectors of the economy, like agriculture, to spur growth.
All right, there's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Up next, sports.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the sports segment with me, Oreku Wampofo. President of the Ghana Football Association, Keto Kreku, has charged the Black Stars to put their names in gold by qualifying for the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. The president said this when he called on the team in Accra before they departed for Cape Coast. Ghana's journey to another Senior Male Football World Cup begins on Friday, September 3rd, when they face Ethiopia in a Group G encounter. Ghana faces Ethiopia at Cape Coast tomorrow evening, and we're bringing you live commentary of that FIFA World Cup qualifier for Qatar 2022 actually. But before we go, just a reminder that Cristiano Ronaldo became the all-time leading goal scorer in men's international football, scoring his 110th and 111th goals for Portugal in a dramatic win against Ireland in World Cup qualifying games. Now, the Portuguese captain scored 2 late headers to overturn a 1-0 deficit and surpassed the previous record of 109 goals set by Iranian legend Ali Daei. My colleague Charles Macarius has the rest of the story.
The 36-year-old scored 2 late headers to break and extend the record after he had a penalty saved by Gavin Bazunu. Ali Daei, who scored 109 goals for Iran between 1993 and 2006, held the record which Ronaldo equaled with a double against France at Euro 2020. The Manchester United forward has also equaled Sergio Ramos's European record for men's caps with his 180th Portugal appearance. The world record, only ratified by FIFA this summer, is the 195 Malaysia Cups won by So Chin An between 1969 and 1984. Ronaldo, who rejoined United from Juventus on deadline day, and Daei are the only 2 male players to score 90 or more international goals. This is the latest landmark to push the argument for the Portuguese to be considered an all-time great. He is already the top scorer in club football's top tournament, the Champions League, a trophy he has won 5 times. The former Real Madrid forward is also the top scorer in European Championship history.
Well, that's how we wrap up the sports here. Remember, we'll be back here at 2 p.m. to bring you more sports stories, including the latest in the ongoing US Open. World News is up next.
Well, as we draw the curtains on Joy News today, I invite you to check out some major stories on myjoyonline.com on showbiz. And like you can see, gospel artists are not poor. They believe in heavenly rewards. That is Edwin Datson. What do you think about that? Check out the details of that story. You can also check out this one. David Donto clears air on relationship with Mame Dokono. That's another story there. And you can also talk about Nikki Samona joining Something Must Kill a Man. She's joined that train. That and many more stories on myjoyonline.com. Well, it's a wrap. Thank you for your company on Joy News today. My name is Benjamin Akakpo. Do stay for the rest of our programming.